If you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. What's up, guys? It's Mrjamvad, and welcome back to another episode of our series on how to master competitive Pokemon. In the intermediate section, I really hammered the importance of a game plan. In this section, we'll be focusing on categorizing battles so that you can gain context for your game plan from the onset. This tactic allows you to operate at a higher level of awareness immediately, which will give you the edge. At the advanced level of play, most of your opponents will be competent, so you'll need a little more than knowledge and skill to separate yourself. It's all about awareness and foresight from here. Skill and knowledge won't fluctuate that much. There are three categories I've come up with for the types of game plans: the setup and sweep, the blow for blow, and the walk in the tightrope. I'll go into detail on what each entail, and it won't be difficult to see why this would be useful. The set up and sweep. Most people generally go into a game with this battle perspective. The setup and sweep refers to a situation where one or more of your Pokemon has the potential to defeat at least 4 members on the opponent's team. It may require that certain conditions be met first, or it may not. Either way, simply being aware of it will be huge. Setup and sweep immediately allows you to focus on your strengths and your opponent's weaknesses. Due to its simplicity, this is the reason why most people choose to use it. However, I'd only advise this when you have an advantage after evaluating the teams. An advantage in this case means you have Pokemon that are incredibly threatening and defeat the opponent's 6 Pokemon before they have a chance to retaliate. This is the ideal situation. Generally, in this position, if you formulate a solid game plan and make no mistakes, you'll prevail. This type of battle, as the name suggests, is centered around Pokemon that have the potential to boost. In this case, boost doesn't only refer to moves that boost your stats, but also refers to abilities and field conditions. In Pokemon, there are moves that boost stats, which allow Pokemon's threat level to increase significantly. There are also abilities that can boost a Pokemon's stats under certain circumstances, such as Moxie, Beast Boost, or Contrary, just to name a few. Last but not least are field conditions. With field conditions, a Pokemon can sweep if and only if the correct forces are in place. These can be things such as weather conditions, terrain boosts, trick room, and even entry hazards. This is the most expansive because it can change from battle to battle. These forces are independent of the Pokemon itself, but aids in paving the way for it to perform. The second type of battle is what I call a blow for blow. This occurs when 2 teams are relatively even, and this can be deduced after performing the assessment and realizing that there are no glaring weaknesses in either team. At this point, it becomes a battle of patience and strategy. This is the purest form of battle because at this point, assuming no hacks, the players will be having a full bout of wits. It is in this type of battle that the principles you've learned will be most important. If both players are competent, then these will tend to be longer battles. The last but certainly not least of the 3 I've termed walking a tightrope. This type of game refers to one in which you have a very poor matchup, so you have to play with a higher degree of risk in order to prevail. This is a your back is against the wall kind of game. You realize that your opponent has several ways to defeat you, so rather than playing their game at their pace, you will be very aggressive in your style of execution. Recognizing and executing on each category will require all 3 pillars: the knowledge to know what the Pokemon on the opposing team do, the skill to assess the team preview, which then heightens your awareness as a result. Awareness is really what you'll be accessing when you categorize a battle. Now that you know the type of battle you're in, you can now create a game plan with a lot more precision. These categories are guides to aid in accessing a deeper level of awareness. The order of actions at team review can now be seen as such: the assessment, categorization, then the game plan. And that's going to conclude today's video. If you enjoyed what you learned and found it valuable, pick up a copy of my book, The Art of Competitive Pokemon. This is an ebook that teaches you everything you've learned up to this point in more detail with more examples. The link is down below, so go pick up your copy right now. All you need is the free Kindle app in order to read it. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.